entrepreneurial thing.
What's up, Podcast Nation? This is Nick Overby here, your host of the New Agent Podcast. I do look at the camera normally here. I told you I shouldn't do that earlier. But hey, man, so welcome back. This is the New Agent Podcast Season 2, Episode 3. Today we are live in the Den. What's today? Tuesday the 7th?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so June 7th of 2022, man. Pretty excited to be here. So I've got Colin Shivers. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. That's a bad joke. So I have a backstory on that. Actually, it's Colin Shivers. Colin Shivers is one of the new agents here in the Den. How long have you been here?
I am literally in my last week of my 13 weeks, and I started about a month before that.
So. Where are you at as far as your numbers?
Currently sitting at over my 100K, so I hit my milestone.
Yeah, but what's your current issued number?
Current issue is 124.
Okay, those are rookie numbers. You got to get those up.
I know.
Yeah. So where do you think you're going to end?
My goal is to hit a mill this year, by the end of the year.
Okay, so but let's in as far as 13 weeks, where do you think you're going to end?
I think I got a good week. Been talking to some really great people, and I think things look really good. And I'm more into this for the journey and the long haul. So taking the time with people and letting them know that I'm there and I'm truly there, that's what pays off for me.
That's what it's all about, man. I mean, this game is, and it's funny that we'll talk about that here. I'm going to segue into that, but I have to talk about your name real quick and why I fucked that up the first time. So when I first met you, I don't know why I thought your last name was Shivers, and that's what I had you in my phone. In fact, I'm pretty sure I still do, and that's okay. But because that's, to me, there's a little bit of nostalgia there. And anywho, that all being said, I do want to see this one because I'm a jackass. Yep, Colin Shivers right there. Colin Shivers, Usha.
Savers.
Yeah, dumbass. Anywho, that's just because I'm retarded half the time. Now, so I like the fact that you talked about the journey because for me, this podcast was about a journey. Because for me, I started in the insurance business and I never woke up and said, man, I can't wait to sell health insurance. You know?
No, not at all.
And nobody does.
No.
Well, maybe, but and so that for me was like, okay, let's do something different. And I was on a Gary V high. Do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is?
No.
Okay, so Gary V is an entrepreneur. He's got multiple companies, and he's very outspoken about creating content. He's got guys that follow him like 24/7, and all they do is create content.
Okay.
And that's just. But so I was like, okay, I want to document this because I knew part of selling health insurance is interacting with my community, and what's at that point in COVID, the best way to do it was through social media. And so I was like, well, fuck it, I'm just
as everyone did, yeah. That's all we could do,
right? And I hadn't seen anybody doing a podcast like this, where I as a new agent, not only had the opportunity to share my own personal story and what was important for me, because I did solo podcasts, but I had people in the Den. They were like, "Man, this is cool," because my first podcast had 2,200 views.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like 6 minutes, and I was in my mom's office, and I was drinking Miller Lite. Probably should reach out to them for a sponsorship at some point. Actually, in the intro of the podcast, my buddy Brandon made this little musical, and part of it was he took an audio piece from the first podcast, and I had cracked open a beer on the podcast, and so part of it's like, dun, 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 dun. Anyways, but it was, again, I just wanted to talk about it, and It was cool to me, and so the New Agent Podcast started, and that's, again, the journey. And so that's you asked earlier, or what are you going to ask me and kind of stuff, and that's where we're going to go.
Yeah.
Because it's about you as an agent, and it's also about what you've experienced, because your journey is different than mine, right?
Correct. Absolutely. Everyone's journey is different.
Absolutely. And it's fucking a kick in the dick. And you're in what? We're month 4, okay? And I'm in August will be 2 years, and so it's that you start up here, and now I'm here, but I'm not down here anymore, right? I'm still going up, and that's kind of the interesting part about this business is, you can be high on life, and the next day
it's a roller coaster ride, man. It really is, and it just takes focusing in on what you're doing and being consistent on what you do. That's the biggest thing. That's what's worked for me, at least.
So let's talk fuck insurance for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you. What's up with you, Colin? Tell us a little bit about who you are, because that's fucking the insurance is temporary, right?
Absolutely, man. I'm a father of 4 children. I'm married to a beautiful woman. I'm a pretty simple guy when it comes to it. I come from the construction industry. I ran a construction company. I worked in roofing for a good while. But I also had some backstory in like restaurant, waiting tables, bartending, cooking. I mean, whatever it took. So, and that goes all the way back to, I can remember one of my first jobs was at 14, and that was working summers helping out with remodeling work on the side.
Where are you from?
It's small East Texas town called Huntington.
I think that has a lot to do with it. Your background and how it correlates to your resiliency here.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And I want to talk about that real quick. So tell me a little bit about like how you grew up, and how you think that some of the things that you might have learned then maybe help you now and have impacted your success, because quite frankly you've done well.
Yeah. Well, no, actually I'm from Huntington, but I moved around a lot as a kid. I was actually an Army brat.
Okay.
So I went to 13 different schools before I hit high school.
Damn.
So I think that right there definitely gave me the leg up in, an industry like this, where having a conversation with a random stranger is not an uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
So being able to walk up and talk to anybody, my wife gets on to me all the time. She's like, we go everywhere and you find a new best friend.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's just part of this business. I mean, it comes twofold, because it's, I don't know. Anyways, go ahead, sir.
No, absolutely, man. It's just part of it, like you were talking about, being in the community and, kind of noticing who's around you and the people that are around you. Because there's a lot of good people out there, and you just got to look around. Got to talk to them.
Yeah, dude, I mean, they don't know who you are until you tell them. I mean,
Exactly.
it's, and we have to, in a sense, set ourselves apart, because not only this market, but I mean, dude, what is there, 7.3 billion humans on the face of this planet? Mm-hmm. And, so we do have to be unique in that sense, but also be yourself. So tell me a little bit more about your past, man. I know a little bit about you. It's even like I asked you about the OSU sticker on the back of your car. Yeah. You said your grandfather went there?
Yeah, so my grandfather, Oklahoma State alumni. Let me give him a go pokes just for this. That's for him. He would love that.
That's
if he ever saw
100%. 100%.
So, anyways, he had an electrical engineering degree from Oklahoma State, but he ended up in sales. So he ended up doing sales. I think that's where I get kind of a mentorship as a kid to become an entrepreneur and work for myself, and that's why I did, try to do my own thing in roofing and construction. Hey, I failed. But I learned a whole lot, and that's part. And to me, that's the biggest part of it is getting in those situations and going through that stuff and dealing with the suck.
Yeah, dude.
Made me ready for an opportunity like this one, and why it's working out for me.
Dude, so I told you, I've talked to you about that book, Winning by Tim Grover, and he said something in that book that really tripped me out. He said that winning doesn't come to you in your dreams; it finds you in your nightmares.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because we talk about
spooky truth.
It's fucking weird, dude. Yeah. Well, because I don't care how much money we make; it's not ever gonna really. It can be about that, right? But if you can't get there, if you're not constantly changing yourself, and winning also changes as you change, right? And so you have to be able to track that. And improve on that. He talks just, it's weird about the times that they would work out because of the traveling and how you can't keep your body in that much of a consistent routine anyways, I'm trailing off for no reason.
No, you're good.
It was really more about what this job does to us. And so that kind of leads me into this office. And we talk a lot on the podcast about the Den, not only because most of the agents that I speak to here or on the podcast are from the Den, but because it's the setting, and it does have a huge impact on my personal success. And so the podcast is part of that.
Absolutely, dude. The environment here in the Den is literally why I'm still here in this office. It was the original reason why I was like, okay, I know nothing about insurance whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I think I can give this place a shot. I think I can really give this place a shot. If I can be here every day, yeah, I'll give this a shot. For sure.
Yeah.
So having people like you, people like Chandler, people like Jason, Victoria that helped us through training, all those people, having Perry and Jamie right there beside you to be able to listen to every day.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me, man?
Just one things I've always.
There's so many good people here. It's literally, and the funny thing is like the people that hired me in went on to bigger, better opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay, but they were still a part of that too. And I'd only been here for a week, but I was sad they left.
Yeah,
because,
that was.
that was kind of the reason it was those guys that I met first.
Well, it speaks to the culture here too, though.
That shows that when somebody, and I know everyone here felt that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's awesome to see people that actually care about you, your success, your income, and they do it on a daily basis and give you
Real quick shout out to Eric Bosworth.
Yeah,
Eric,
Kiara.
Kiara. Shout out to Ian Brook. Shout out to Nick fucking Reed.
Yep.
Nick Brooks, he's in this office still, but I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. Am I?
No. To the Florida table. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. And those guys did. I loved the character that Eric brought to this office. I loved what he did, and I think you're right. Right, everybody's path is different, and everybody's journey is going to be different, and that's what was his desire and what drew him to that.
Yeah.
And look what he's
but that's the
massively
thing,
successful.
That's the thing about this office, that it gives you the opportunity to be that person.
Yep.
And bring that out in yourself, and have somebody like you. You feel like you honestly feel like you have people have your back, and that's what's so great about it.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in this office and getting to know a lot of people here, and it has always been a family. I mean, hell, I lived with Samaria for a while, just when I was going through all the crap I was going through in my personal life, and nobody had to know that, and that's what this family is.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
That's why it's
similar situation for me, man. When people, when I needed people, they were here, and I haven't even been here that long. To be honest with you, man, and to win, to be able to be accepted into a culture like this it's unbelievable. It's a blessing. It really is.
So
because people really don't get that on a normal basis.
Not at all. Well, I want to tie that back into how your personal life, because I'm not pulling anything out here, but this business tries families because it's very difficult, right?
Absolutely.
And you've been through that, so I'd be curious to know. How did you get Jessica to come around?
I mean, just like I do in my sales, I stayed persistent.
Good.
And it's an ever evolving thing, and that's just life in general. And if you understand that you can control that aspect of it and deal with the change like you need to deal with in a healthy way, there's no such thing as a limit.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
What are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
I play guitar, I fish, and I hang out with my kids.
Yeah,
I love cooking.
Really?
I love cooking.
Interesting. What do you like to cook?
I like to cook. I guess my favorite dish to cook would be chicken parmesan.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would not have expected you to say that.
Yeah.
That's fair, especially from a country boy like yourself.
Yeah. Well, I was raised by my mother and my aunt and my grandmother, so your boy learned how to cook.
I understand that. I mean, I was raised by my mom and two sisters, basically, and so I get that. It's I think that, let's fight family dynamic shit, that plays a huge role into sales, because not only do we have empathy, which is I think one of the biggest things it takes to be successful in sales, we also have a little bit more compassion with people.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially in an industry like this where, this is personal information that these people are giving you. So anytime you're in that kind of situation, or human beings in that situation, they feel vulnerable. So if you can't understand that situation and, try to ease that process for them as much as possible, that's super key to me, is being able to understand who you're talking to and try to understand their situation as much as you possibly can, of course. Yeah. And then help them find a solution.
That's it. It's funny. I see a lot of people that are successful in this business come from the restaurant business. I know I've talked to you about this before.
Definitely.
It's that vulnerability you just spoke of, because people, A, hate talking about health insurance.
Yeah.
Right. But B, then now we have to be able to sell them something. Right. And that's within itself, they're already guarded, and being able to, like you said, translate all that into, hey, man, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help you, man. Let me guide you along the way.
I mean, but, that's where you just, over time, you just learn to deal with people and you understand their situations. I think that's truly it. It's just, look, there's a place for everyone in this industry. You just got to find it.
That's very true. Speaking of, in your 4 months, what you've learned about the insurance business, what do you like about where you are now? And what are the things you don't like about where you are now? And just being real honest, and it's not a negative.
Yeah, no, I like having the knowledge that I've gained, you but I understand that there's still so much that you have to continuously do and try to understand. It's ever evolving. You never know when things are going to change, or when things got to be updated. But at the same time, there's still so much knowledge that I feel like I haven't acquired yet. I think I just need to keep keep learning coming in every
yeah.
day. I mean, I still have that mentality of I'm learning.
Oh yeah, you have
And
to.
as soon as you lose that, that's when you start to get complacent.
Oh yeah, and you know it's really easy to get one track mind in a business like this, especially when you're so many different dynamics like money and family and needing to get things done.
Absolutely.
And you know it's a true test of somebody's will. And you know I was listening to we were talking about Kevin Gates earlier, right?
Yeah.
And he said something about a weak man will let his thoughts run his life, and a strong man will control that. I thought that was interesting because. You know, the overthinkers are obviously some of the, or for me, that's one of my issues is that I overthink it, and then that becomes inaction.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest struggles for me, and I'd be curious to know, what, like being in this office, how do you deal with that? What's the struggle for you?
I mean, dude, I like to just stay at it always. So I don't know really what to say there.
Really?
To be honest with you.
What do you do? I mean, you can't always be working, right?
That's
There's
what
got
I
to
like
be
to
something.
do. Like, and it's not just necessarily hitting one market or something really hard or something like that. It's just continuously being in the marketplace.
How do you avoid burnout then?
I take my time off in the evenings with my family.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, there's times, but don't get me wrong. I'm gonna take a call tonight at 8:30.
Yeah.
I have one scheduled.
I mean,
That's what works out for them, okay? And I communicate that with my family, you know.
Well, to that point, that's one of the biggest things that has made me successful is being available when my clients are available.
Yeah.
Right? Not working when only I want to work. Working
Yeah.
when they have the time to do it. What's up, Dom? How you doing?
What's up, bud?
That's all right. I always, it's funny because I do this in the office, right? So there's always somebody watching, and I always like a live audience. You know that.
Yeah. Listen to them for a while. I think I changed up. I was falling asleep over there.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, it could be insurance can be an interesting topic.
Nice. See, Dom's got an appointment at 7 too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Self-gen, HID. What is it?
HID.
Get it, son. Go make that money, boo boo.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully, get them on the books.
Speaking of money, have you done okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really have.
You
You
have-
save
you have-
better. You always need to save better.
Yeah. Oh, that's a whole other
Yeah.
a whole other podcast. You have good leadership. You have somebody who's very rigorous and very by the book, and routine in this business, I think, is extremely important, right?
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah.
More than all. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree.
Just being consistent in whatever it is. I mean, that's why I say it's not necessarily just one thing that I'm, or multiple things that I'm trying. I'm just being consistently in the marketplace, on social media, calling people, just being consistently in the market. Whatever it is, just be in the marketplace.
So
That's where you got to be. That's where it happens.
I some of the things that for me in this business that caught me off guard were I said to that young man out there when we were talking. What was his name?
I forget. I'm sorry.
I feel
We
bad,
talked to so many today.
Yeah, I
I'm not
know.
gonna lie. No disrespect.
No. And what was hard for me to digest in this business was what you putting in a whole bunch and not getting a bunch out.
Yeah.
Because I'd always been extremely successful, and Perry pointed this out when he first met me. He goes, "You've been successful in sales, and that's going to be one of your biggest hurdles because when you get knocked down, you're not used to getting knocked down the way you're going to get knocked down here,
Yeah.
and that's tough." So, what are some of the knockdowns for you so far? I mean, what are some struggles? And I ask because
No, it's absolutely right, and it's a good thing to talk about because even me talking about them is going to make me better.
Yeah.
But not only that, we have the opportunity right now to share that with somebody else. I'm always down to do that. But blanking, not bringing numbers in for a week, oh man, because I'd have a good week, and then I'd blank.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd have another good week, and then I'd blank again. And then I'd have another good week. I'd blank for 2 weeks, and then I'd have the best week ever yet. And it's like, all right, I got to get consistent. So that's been like my mentality is just consistency. Try to get to where, I'm setting at least 3 appointments a day. Okay, minimum 3 appointments a day. I definitely probably should be doing more than that. But if I'm staying true to that and I'm consistently doing that, which I'm not quite there yet, but I think if I'm doing that, I end up with a good amount of appointments on the week.
Well, I mean, you're doing it all self-gen, and that's a whole other story, right? You're not.
I'm doing self-gen and HID. But
So-
I am I'm working, pretty much. I don't get too far outside of my COI.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just live in the community that I'm in. And I'm trying to literally have genuine conversations and build genuine relationships with people. I'm not just trying to hit as many numbers as I possibly can. And the reason for that is because I'm not just trying to blow up quick and put up good numbers, which, hey, even though I'm not trying to do that in my head, I'm still doing okay.
Yeah.
You know, I hit my goal, a 13-week goal, in 9 weeks, made it happen. And from what I've been told, the people that, you know, accomplish that goal within that 13 weeks are usually in this business for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, coming from the construction industry, I devoted, 5 to 6 years of my time. Time is the most valuable thing we have. I can't get those 5 or 6 years back, so I have to learn from them as much as I possibly can. And almost being a little more methodical with how I do things, and that's just how I'm going to do it, because I'm going to make sure it sticks.
Well,
So that I can consistently do something.
You know,
because that's what I want. That's what, so that I can reach my goal of financial freedom.
There you go. I mean, this business allows you to create legacy wealth, right?
Yeah.
Long-term wealth. Right? You know, I've got a policy out on my son.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For him, that's great and myself, because when I turn 70 and I want to get rid of it, I can dump that money back to him because it's guaranteed back to me anyway. Mm-hmm. It's a good savings account for him. You know?
Yep.
Why not save a little bit of money and do something smart? I mean, I guarantee you, I'm not the smartest financial guy in this world. You know that.
Me either. No. Like I said, I come from the construction industry and the restaurant, so I could take a drink order.
Well,
swing a hammer.
Right? I mean, in this, you just have to, like you said earlier, right? I mean, it's all about what you save, and it doesn't matter what you make.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't save shit, then what's the fucking point?
Exactly.
And then you can't
How
invest
much are you
back
really making?
Right? It's crazy.
If you're spending it all, you're not making anything.
I read this story that 43% of Americans that make over $250,000 live paycheck to paycheck.
It's weird, isn't it?
What? That's a lot of money.
I know. Why is that happening?
Break that. If you break it down, right? What is that? $24,000 or what? $26,000, $28,000 a month?
Something like that. Yeah.
What?
Trying to get to that point.
I'd be chilling. I'd be good.
I would be straight chilling.
Yeah. Not in the literal sense, but yeah.
Well, it'd be chilling, but some stuff would be growing as well.
Yeah, I think that's something
We
that's
get
not
that ball rolling for sure.
That's not often taught about, at least in the first little while that we spoke about on here, actually with Eric too, about financial knowledge, right, and financial education, and really because we grew up, I wasn't taught that, right? We were given algebra books and
buy cheap.
Yeah, exactly, and it's just now, especially with what's going on in the economy, it would have been nice to maybe, be taught that earlier, but that's not anybody's fault. We have the chance now to educate ourselves, and that's what's kind of cool about this business is that you are now on an inside track to do so, because insurance, essentially, not necessarily health but life, is an opportunity to create generational wealth for years to come if you do it right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, look at have you used that? I don't know if I sent you this video, but you know who Waka Flocka Flame is, the rapper? So he has this video, and he was like, man, I don't know what I was doing for years. I was just spending all my money. And then I found out I could buy whole life policies. He said, I put $3 million in the whole life policies, and I just borrow against those motherfuckers, and I still get the money back. And it's true, though. That's what I love about this business.
It's understand. That's what I talk about coming in here and learning every day. Not every day I learn about insurance, with being in this environment and being around fellow entrepreneurs that want to genuinely make generational wealth for them and their families. You learn different things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you hear different things. You're in a different round. Okay, either you get on board, start learning, start listening, start doing your research, catching up with the times, or guess what? It's not going to work out.
Yeah, and it moves it moves a hell of a lot faster than we think too.
Yeah,
I mean my 70-year-old father, I think, is probably light years ahead of me just because he's in the tech world. But I feel like that's a centralized focus on what we do, because what we do is technology based too, in a lot of the ways, right?
That's why you have to come in with a learning mentality every day.
Yeah, the biggest struggle I see is people with not adapting well to the technology or the social media side of it, right? Not being really willing. Yeah, they'll go out and talk to people. But unfortunately, right, in the generation we live in, that's not necessarily the best way to get, in touch with people. And I think that's evident by the success this office sees based on social media.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an interesting thing because that, and within itself, we talk about growth, change, and what this life or being here can do. And it's unfortunate that adaptation is so tough for people. The tech side. Yeah.
I mean, hey, and either you figure it out or you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely fucking right.
I mean, in my time that I've been here, I've never seen anyone get fired or anything like that or be asked to leave. If they left, it's because it didn't work out for him.
Yeah, I've only seen one in the.
You got to understand that, and that's one thing about this industry is like, dude, you're either gonna make it happen or not.
Yeah.
You're gonna find an avenue. You're gonna find a crease to work. You're gonna find a niche, whatever it is. You gotta make it work.
Dude, you should check out my buddy Nick out in Georgia. He's done really well and as a captive agent for State Farm. Mm-hmm. He went through their agent training and now he owns an actual office. And I've learned a lot about agency building from him and understanding what it takes to do what Perry does, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, because Perry's a producer, but it's also more about running a business. And this. You talk about legacy. You can make a shit ton of money because I know Nick does really well. We know what Perry does. He's out in fucking Puerto Rico or Costa Rica buying a house right now.
Yeah.
Ain't a bad life, homie.
Nope.
Hey, goals. Goals.
And I don't even need a place in Costa Rica. Like, I don't even need that.
I just need a place in Corsicana.
Maybe a little further out.
God damn. But yeah, no, I mean, but again, that's what this lifestyle or that's what this business can afford you.
Yeah, absolutely. And it comes down to your efforts, and that's anything that we do. I mean, but this industry definitely gives you a hell of an opportunity.
Dude, I mean, like, look at that table over there, right? So Chandler's 23, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bryce is 23. Bryce
26?
No, Bryce is 23, 24.
I thought he was older than that.
Bryce, hey, Bryce, how old are you?
24.
Yeah.
You were closer.
Hey, I know where your mom sits now. Oh God, I'm not gonna say that on the podcast. Anyways, so Bryce is 24. But that, it's proof in the pudding. That, I mean, that's under 30 table except for Jason over there, and it's just crazy to see what that in the next 5 years, what that table can generate from if you just add it all up, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember, dude.
I get to sit over there too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's
and
honestly, dude, that's why I like sitting. And look, I know everybody's got their own piece of pie. I love sitting next to James. Mm-hmm. Because James is my type of pie. Because she's, if I have one question, it's just the way we vibe together and we understand each other really well. And but that's one of the cool things about being here is that there's so many different characters. I remember
James is super intelligent. I go over there with questions a lot of the times, and she's super nice about it.
Have you ever heard of the term the Island of Misfit Toys? So that's when I started here, that's what Perry called this place, was the Island of Misfit Toys. And it kind of rang true to me because, sitting here, I would stay here till 11 o'clock at night with Jamie. Mm-hmm. And dude, she was working the whole time, and I was just feeding off of that and doing what I needed to do. And it was kind of cool to see that that's what you got to do here, because shit, man. I come from inclusion. Like, I come from, wanting to do something, for the greater good. Mm-hmm. That's what's tough for me in wanting to grow my business and where I am, because then I lose this.
Right.
I don't want to, and that's really tough for me. I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, it absolutely does. Yeah. I mean, take my situation, for instance, like if you were to take the den away, and I didn't have this environment around me.
Yeah.
I really, really don't know what I would do at the moment. I really wouldn't. I know I would figure something out, but it would definitely be a shell shock to me because of how beneficial it's all been. Like, not just in my career, but in my life, period. Like, in the steps that I've made as a human being and as a man to better my life. Yeah,
because, you learn a lot more here. I've learned a lot more here about myself than I ever thought I would.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, just emotional, physical. Dude, when I started here, I was 60 pounds heavier than I am right now.
Right.
And it's like just the transformation. I had hair when I started here. And by the way,
with a hat.
Thank you. Well, it's funny. I would wear hats all the time just because I was self-conscious. And that's funny that, talk about growth, Perry. I remember I asked Perry, I said, so I've seen pictures of you when you had hair. What made you change? And he goes, I just got tired of looking at those pictures and always wondering what, worried about my hair. I said, damn. And so I remember going home one day, and I was like, fucking, it was a Sunday, and I was actually going to meet Perry that night to go see a movie, and I was like, fucking, I'm gonna shave my head, and I went outside and shaved my head, and you should have seen Samaria's face. She was like, what the fuck is he doing? but growth, right? I mean, I just
paid to see
yeah,
that.
I was damn, I don't know how to have that on video. I might, but the ability to kind of break a shell, right?
Yeah.
And just say, and that was cool because I'll always attest that Perry and Jimmy have done a lot for me and my family. I mean, they've done a lot for me and Flynn, and that's irreplaceable.
Absolutely.
So tell us about your business, man. This is, I know, well, let me see, right about 30 minutes. So it didn't feel like 30 minutes of talking, does it?
No.
So right about this time, man, I always like to give you the opportunity to talk about your business. Obviously you're in health insurance, but tell us a little bit more about your brand, like kind of, promote yourself, and then we're going to sign off, and I'm going to go have another beer and go home.
Sounds good. Well, it's simple, man. I'm calling for health insurance. It's my name. You get me. You get that personal conversation with somebody that's actually going to truly care about what you are looking for, what your budget is, just making solutions happen for you.
What is your phone number? Because I'm going to put it right here on the screen later. What's your phone number?
903-330-7450.
All right, we'll get that one more time after he's helping Dom. Dom is actually Colin's, I guess, little brother, so to speak. He's actually not his little brother, but his best friend. That you guys grew up together, right?
Yeah, we started hanging out in high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so he's now in the den, right? You are mentoring
den.
him.
He's on the
is a whole
clock for
nother story.
13 weeks. He's doing really good. He's a travel nurse guy.
That's good. I mean, you got to find a niche and make some money and expand.
That's what it is.
That's good. Where can we find you on the interweb?
On the interweb.
Yeah, like Facebook. You have a website, anything like that?
Yep. Calling for health insurance.
Okay, so is it callinforhealthinsurance.com?
It is callinforhealthinsurance.com.
Okay,
That
cool.
way.
We'll definitely get that done, man. Is there anything that I always ask in your experience and what you've learned so far in your journey? Anything you want to just kind of throw out there as a nugget for somebody listening that might take something away?
Yeah. Be consistent. Be coachable. Be committed.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's the 10 intangibles, right? I mean,
Yep.
it's show up early. That's always what I would say. Anywho, thank you, brother. I appreciate your time.
Every morning.
Always, yeah. Hey, look.
I love it. I love getting here because I'm excited about coming to work every day, man.
Well, I love it too because it's peaceful. There's a peaceful. It's kind of the calm before the storm,
Yep.
so to speak. And there's something to be said about that. It's very for me mentally calming.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
But I've got my son so much now that my wake up in the morning is turning the light on, saying, "All right, Flynn, it's time to get
Let's
up."
go.
And it's 7:00, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna be at work till 8:30, 8:45 today." So it is what it is. But again, hey, I thank you for your time. If you have what do you want to promote this to? I will send you the links. You'll get all the good shit, and we'll go from there.
Cool. Sounds
Later,
good.
Gator. Have a good one.
Later, bud.
That's it. What'd you think?
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely. So.